Welcome back, dearies, to Sinfully Desilicious. Hope you enjoyed the recipes which I posted under the theme Diwali Sweets and Snacks. For the last 2 weeks, the recipes had one common ingredient with which I prepared two delicacies. With sabudana, I prepared two snacks. Similarly, with cashew, I prepared two sweets. The same goes for this week, but with a twist. Yes, here I used two ingredients as common ingredient and prepared a sweet and a snack with the same. Sounds interesting? Let me reveal the two common ingredients. It's yellow split gram or pasiparippu or moong dal and foxtail millet or thinai or kangni. Utilizing these two ingredients, I created a sweet Ashoka Alva or South Indian moong dal alva and a snack thinai pasiparippu murukku or kangni moong dal chakli. Coming to the first recipe of this week is Ashoka Alva. This dish is also known as Thiruvaiyaru Alva, originated from Thiruvaiyaru from the Tanjavur district. It is served in weddings with a melt-in-the-mouth texture and the taste lingers for a while. This glossy beauty is made with three main ingredients, namely yellow split gram, ghee and sugar. Along with this, wheat flour or maida is added as a binding agent. Measure 1 cup of moong dal, wash and rinse it nicely, then drain the water. Saute this for a minute in 1 teaspoon ghee heated in a pressure cooker pan. This step is not mandatory, but sauteing in ghee adds an extra aroma to the flavor. But make sure you do not saute more than a minute because over sauteed moong dal will not get cooked completely as it is supposed to be in a mashable, mushy consistency. After sauteing, add 4 cups of hot or warm water to it, then pressure cook it for 4 to 5 long whistles. While adding water, either add 3 or 4 times the dal quantity and also add warm or hot water as adding cold water to the sauteed hot moong dal will affect its cooking due to the temperature difference. Once the pressure settles down, pulse the cooked dal in a mixer grinder or using a hand mixer. In authentic Ashoka Alva, bright orange food color is added for an appealing look. I am a person who avoids artificial food color in my recipes. Here I compensated with beetroot water. To prepare it, finely chop a small beetroot and cook in a cup of water. After it reduces the water to quarter cup, switch off the flame and mash the veggie to impart more color to the water. Use this quarter cup, which is equal to 4 tablespoons beetroot water, for color. It may not be that bright orange, but definitely a healthy substitute. Now take a wide, thick bottom kadai or non-stick pan. Heat quarter cup ghee, fry the required quantity of cashews and raisins and keep it aside. I would like to add a tip over here. While making Indian sweets like halwa, always use thick bottom or a non-stick utensil as it transmits the heat and maintains the temperature evenly. Though yellow split gram is a base ingredient for both the South Indian Ashoka Alva and North Indian moong dal alva, but their preparation is completely different from each other. In North Indian alva, moong dal is not cooked, just soaked and ground into a paste. Secondly, their milk is added and moong dal is cooked in it. Finally, no flour is added as a binding agent there. Stating that here in Ashoka Alva, wheat flour or maida is added. Here I tweaked it by adding thinai or foxtail millet flour in the place of wheat flour, thus converting this dish into a gluten-free recipe. After sauteing foxtail millet flour in medium flame for 3 minutes, reduce the flame to low. Then add cooked mashed moong dal, sugar, a pinch of salt and cardamom powder. Combine everything and cook in medium flame for 5 minutes. Initially, the consistency of the mashed dal will be gooey and runny. It's because I added 4 cups of water to 1 cup of dal. If you have added 3 cups, then your cooked dal may not be the same consistency. It will be a bit thicker even after mashing. Then it may not take much time to cook. For my consistency of dal, it took a total of 35 minutes to reach the final stage. But make sure you pulse the dal and do not grind it. Also, do not add water while pulsing it. After 5 minutes of cooking, keep adding the remaining 1.5 cup ghee in quarters for every 5 minutes. Initially when you add ghee, it floats, then after constant stirring, halwa absorbs the ghee. Every 5 minutes interval, keep adding quarter cup of ghee. Repeat the process till you empty the 1.5 cup ghee by 30 minutes. Here in total I used 1 3/4 cup of ghee, where I used first quarter cup ghee to saute foxtail millet flour. Remaining 1.5 cup ghee I added in quarters every 5 minutes till the halwa reaches its right consistency. This quantity of ghee is required to get the desired consistency and taste. Do not hesitate to add this quantity, as almost half to 3/4 cup of ghee is thrown out when you are reheating the halwa. This excess ghee can be used in your day-to-day cooking like in dosa, chapati or any curries. Always reheat the halwa to get rid of the excess ghee and to relish its authentic taste. After the given time, it starts gathering as a single mass without sticking to the pan. The consistency of the halwa will be glossy and solid at this stage. This is the indication of halwa being cooked. Switch off the flame and garnish with fried cashews and raisins. Serve this Ashoka halwa while hot. Smooth, soft, glossy, melt-in-mouth halwa enters your throat and takes you on a divine experience that cannot be explained unless you taste it. Now let's move on to our next addition using the same ingredients, namely yellow split gram and foxtail millet flour. This time I wanted to make a savory using the same ingredients in contrast to the previous sweet dish. Take a wide bowl, add foxtail millet flour, rice flour, salt, asafoetida powders, chili powder, sesame seeds and cumin seeds. Mix it well. For rice flour, you can use idiyappam or patri or kolkata flour or simply store-bought rice powder. Generally, murukku or chaklis are a mix of any cereal flour like rice or wheat with lentil flour like 5 gram flour or urad dal flour. Here, I came with a twist. I included small millet, which is foxtail millet flour with rice flour. For the lentil part, I used the cooked moong dal. For cooking the dal, follow the same method of Ashoka halwa, only difference is the quantity of the dal used here. Also, you make sure that you mash the hot dal with a masher. It doesn't require pulsing or grinding in a mixer grinder. After adding the cooked mashed moong dal, add 1 tablespoon butter. In the place of butter, you can substitute hot oil, but adding either of the fat is essential to get a crispy and crunchy texture. After adding the cooked moong dal and butter, mix it with the tip of the fingers to combine it evenly and mix well till you get a crumbly texture. At this stage, take little flour and press it against your palm and see if it holds a shape. It denotes the right texture and right proportion of ingredients added. Now gradually add water tablespoon by tablespoon in portions and knead the dough into a wet and soft consistency. It shouldn't be hard or sticky consistency. It will roughly take 9 tablespoons of water. It may vary depending on the quality of flours you used. Always be safe by adding in tablespoons. Now cover the dough with a damp cloth to avoid getting it dried. Roll the dough into a cylindrical shape and fit it into the greased murukku maker filled with multiple holes jali. Then grease the back of some flat ladles and start squeezing in a tight swirl shape. Join the edges and end if broken to avoid unfolding while frying. You can also directly squeeze into the oil if you can tolerate the heat. Better to use greased ladles back to squeeze. When one batch is getting fried, parallelly you can squeeze another batch of murukkus on ladles back to save time and effort. Drop the squeezed murukkus one by one in a pan heated with a neutrally flavored oil. To check the right temperature of the oil, drop a pinch of dough. It should rise immediately from the bottom and sizzle on top. If not, let the oil heat for some more time. Maintaining the medium flame throughout the frying process is essential to get evenly cooked murukus. Also, do not crowd the oil with more murukus. Fry in small batches. If the murukku tends to break and split in oil, then add little flour. If it's hard to squeeze through the murukku maker and the dough is hard, then add a teaspoon to tablespoon of butter as required. Also, if the oil is not hot enough or at the right temperature, then murukku tends to break and absorb a lot of oil. After dropping a small batch of 4 to 5 murukkus in the oil, fry it in medium flame. Flip it twice, and once a bubble settles down, remove and drain excess oil by placing them on a kitchen tissue. Repeat the process till you finish the dough and fry the murukkus effectively. Once cooled down, store them in an airtight container and it has a shelf life of more than 2 weeks. Crispy, crunchy, tasty, healthy, savory, Tinai Pasiparappu Murukku or Kangni Moong Dal Chakli is ready to bite and indulge. It's an amazing way to introduce small millets in kids' diet plan. It's 2-in-1 recipe. Satisfy yourself by giving a healthy feast and satisfy your kids as well by giving a tasty snack. After a long brainstorming session, I chose these two scrumptious treats and unique recipes of Ashoka Alva and Tinai Pasiparappu Murukku using two variant ingredients, namely yellow split gram and foxtail millet flour. Visit my website Sinfully Desilicious to try unique, easy, novel recipes to make your Diwali more memorable. When I discovered cooking, I discovered myself. So can you.